Right, let's get into our last story of the night, guys. This week, Donald Trump made some big news about the advancement of AI and the technocracy really in the United States. So let's go ahead and jump into it in case you missed this, because it really didn't make the news the way I think it should, especially in the independent media. This was on, I think this was Wednesday or Thursday. Trump unveiled his Winning the AI Race, America's AI Action Plan, calling for accelerating the rollout of data centers and for removing federal regulation on AI. And of course, this report says that they will seek the input from the Big Tech Bros. And here is the press release. We'll pull it up. But as I tweeted here, Peter Thiel connected and Bilderberg attendee Michael Kratsios is quoted in the press release. And I've been telling you guys about this dude for quite some while. I talked about it in my my mini documentary, Peter Thiel, Donald Trump, and the Technocrats. Michael Kratsios is the assistant to the president and the 13th director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. Under Trump, he also is a Peter Thiel acolyte. Here is the official plan on the White House website. White House unveils America's AI Action Plan, Winning the AI Race, in accordance with President Trump's January executive order on removing barriers to American leadership in AI. Winning the AI race will usher in a new golden age of human flourishing, economic competitiveness, and national security for American people. The plan identifies 90 federal policy actions across 3 pillars, which are accelerating innovation, building American AI infrastructure, and leading an international diplomacy and security that the Trump administration is going to take in the coming weeks and months. 90 federal policy actions. There's going to be a lot of action coming up on AI, probably too much for us to keep up. But here are the key policies they talk about. Exporting American AI. The Commerce and State Departments will partner with industry to deliver secure, full-stack AI export packages to America's friends and allies around the world. I'm sure it's got built-in backdoors for them to spy on these other nations who take the American AI. Promoting rapid build-up of data centers, expediting and monetizing permits for data centers and semiconductor fabs, as well as creating national initiatives to increase high-demand occupations. Enabling innovation, removing onerous federal regulations that hinder AI development and deployment, and seeking private sector input on the rules to remove. So think about that. This is literally them allowing the industry to control them, to police themselves. And look, I am a libertarian. I'm an anarchist. I'm a voluntarist who seeks to limit government and shrink government and have government least involved in our lives as possible. And yet I do have major concerns about just letting the AI and facial recognition and data collection industries just go wild and do whatever they want with no sort of input or, just limits from the people or from the government. Of course, I don't expect to trust the government to do it. So we're kind of in a rock and a hard place because doing nothing probably isn't good for us, and just letting the industries just do whatever the hell they want. But also trusting the government is not a good move. And in this case, the government under Trump is going to remove federal regulations that hinder AI development and deployment, and they're going to ask the AI companies themselves which rules they should remove. So I'm sure that's going to end up great. But they promise they're going to ensure that government only contracts with frontier large language model developers that ensure their systems are objective and free from top-down ideological basis. So they don't want them to have any of that woke AI. Instead, it'll be conservative Zionist AI if they have their way. Just because they're saying they're going to support free speech doesn't mean that they're going to be neutral. They're just against the speech that they don't like. They want to push back against that, and they want to promote the speech that they do like. Now, here's the Bilderberg attendee who literally was at Bilderberg just in May, just 2 months ago, who is Trump's director of White House Office of Science and Technology Policy and was a member of one of the Thiel foundations. He worked with Peter Thiel. And he has a quote here, says, "This plan galvanizes federal efforts to turbocharge our innovation capacity, build cutting-edge infrastructure, and lead globally, ensuring that American workers and families thrive in the AI area. We are moving with urgency to make this vision a reality." And then cryptos and AI czar David Sachs, who's also another PayPal mafia dude, who is, he's another guy. I've written about him and talked about his role in this, and he's just celebrating it. To win the AI race, the U.S. must lead in innovation, infrastructure, and global partnerships. We must center American workers and avoid Orwellian uses of AI. This action plan provides a roadmap for doing that. I truly do not believe any of those words that they're saying, that they're going to fight the Orwellian AI. The difference is, and this is something I've reported on in the past, is that the Peter Thiels and the David Sachs and the Curtis Yarvins behind them, they believe they are the counter elite to the progressive elite. So it's not so much that they're champions of free speech and libertarians, they believe in individual self-ownership and sovereignty and individual liberty. They just think they're the ones that should be in charge, and they're against the woke people. But that doesn't mean that they're not authoritarians coming from a different direction. Now, in addition to that, this is a big week for AI. Trump also spoke recently. I think it was actually on Wednesday. Yeah, again, so the same day Trump made this announcement of this AI plan, he signed a bunch of executive orders, and he also delivered the keynote address at an event called Winning the AI Race Summit, hosted by the All In podcast and the Hill and Valley Forum. So let's explain what this is. This is just a press release here. But for those who've never heard of the All In podcast, let me just go down here. All In podcast is the #1 tech podcast hosted by Chamath Palihapitiya and Jason Calacanis and David Sachs and David Friedberg. These are tech bros, tech execs, and they do the All In podcast, and it's become very influential to mainstream podcast normies. And now the Hill and Valley Forum is another forum like the World Economic Forum that was co-hosted by Jacob Hellberg, who is also another Peter Thiel acolyte, who is a partner at the Founders Fund, which was funded with money from Peter Thiel. And Jacob Hellberg is the advisor to the White House Council on Economic Advisors, and he's been nominated for Undersecretary of State for Economic Affairs. It's 7 months in. I'm not sure why they haven't actually had his nomination hearing, but nevertheless, this guy is a Peter Thiel connected acolyte, and he is leading the Hill and Valley Forum, and the All In podcast and him came together to host this Winning the AI Race Summit, which Trump was the keynote speaker. And it said that Trump will follow his day one executive order to remove barriers to American leadership in AI, whose principal authors of the executive order include White House AI crypto czar David Sachs and other high-ranking cabinet administration officials. They will participate in a conversation at the event moderated by Hill Valley Forum co-founder Jacob Hellberg. Now, this is interesting. Technology leaders participating in the event include the CEO of Hadrian, the CEO of Palantir, Shyam Sankar, and the partner at Y Combinator, the CEO of MP Materials, and the CEO of AMD. So just big tech bros, but of course the name Palantir stands out, that the CTO of Palantir is there at the same meeting that Trump is delivering this speech. And basically it's like Trump is coming to the big tech AI crowd and saying, hey guys, I did it for you. We're passing the executive order. We're issuing executive orders to remove regulation. We're going to let you guys decide which rules to remove. Don't worry. We're looking out for you. We're definitely not looking out for the American people and what's best for them. We're looking out for you and what's good for your industry. So just more examples. And that's not even to say that like AI in itself is all bad. Obviously, we've had a lot of conversations with this within the Independent Media Alliance. I think overall in the long term, it's going to lead some bad places. It's a useful tool, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't believe the words when they say they're going to fight for free speech. They're going to fight to against the Orwellian future. These are the same people who run companies like Palantir, who have received seed funding from the CIA and intelligence agencies, and they want us to believe that we should put our faith and trust in them. I don't think so, my friends. I'm not buying it. I ain't buying it. But Trump is working with them. And yet again, some more reasons why you should not trust Donald Trump. He is likely to pardon, or at least his DOJ appears to be giving limited immunity to Ghislaine Maxwell, the Epstein network. He's telling you to shut up and stop talking about it. He's working with the AI, big tech technocrats to roll out technocracy. Doge was never about making government more efficient to make it responsible to the people, but to make it more efficient for the technocrats. That's what this is about, dismantling of the bureaucracy to remake it into technocracy. It's not about communism versus capitalism. It's about technocracy. And Trump's EPA continuing the appeal of the fluoride ruling. I mean, I don't know how much more examples you guys need, but
since 2012, the Conscious Resistance Network has been an independent media organization focused on empowering individuals through education, philosophy, health, and community organizing. We work to create a world where corporate and state power do not rule over the lives of free human beings. Our motto is leading by example and helping others in their pursuit of freedom. Visit theconsciousresistance.com to find our articles, documentaries, interviews, podcasts, books, and more. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free.